Hi, everyone, and welcome, 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 welcome. I am so glad you are here. Today, we are talking about what happens when you shift how you see yourself, and then you find the confidence to adapt to anything. This is another Confidence Shift conversation, and I'm your host, Michele Charles Gustafson. I'm the creator of HueandStyle.com, where I help heart-led achievers step into a new season of confidence, turning their self-belief, self-motivation, self-presentation into a superpower, and it attracts their visibility, their business, their self-acceptance, their happiness. And if you know someone right now who needs a new dose of confidence in her life, at this point in her year, at this point in her life, then you want to make sure that you share this out. Use the share button, send it to her, send it in the profile, whatever you have to do, especially if she's in a highly competitive sales industry. She's in a service industry where she wants to make sure she has great high net worth clients, or if she's in the midst of switching careers, because Amanda's going to help me talk about all of it. And I see you guys all streaming in. Say hello down in the comments. Make sure that we can see you in the comments. And if you have questions, let us see them down in the comments. You can put #live that you're here live. And if you're on the replay, we love you too. Oh, I see you. We love you on the replay. #replay down in the comments. So, community, I am so delighted to introduce you to my client, Amanda. And she's here to share her journey about her journey to adaptable confidence. How do we like that word? She's going to share and inspire you to learn that your asset is in seeing yourself differently, literally first in the mirror and then the rest of your life. How she thinks about herself as being competitionless, which don't you want if you're a business. How she uses her Hue and Style personal brand definition and her self-expression like a billboard, folks, to attract people into her business. And why, ladies who are listening, you want to stop getting dressed, worried about fashion, and use this daily habit to change how you feel about yourself, your relevance, your age even, and your direction in life. So let's get started. Amanda, and listen, I am with my people, so I call her Amanda. So Amanda, let's go. Let's meet us.
Years in the making, Michele.
Listen,
Just
that
saying.
is true. That is true. And I'm going to tell them, because I said, like, Amanda, you guys is OG Hue and Style. She came to me over 7 years ago. But what I want her to do is tell us, Amanda, who you are, what you do, who you serve.
I am a recovering type A. I came to Michele 7 years ago, striving as a type A. Now I'm recovering. Yes. I serve the Lloydminster, Alberta, Saskatchewan, Canada location. I'm a realtor. I'm also a puppy mom now of 2 beautiful little puppies. I'm also a big supporter of our community. I am sitting on the real estate board. I volunteer at many different areas. Yeah, so I'm all around now and very confidently doing so.
Yeah,
unlike
you are.
maybe 7 years ago.
Yes, you are, because of a decision you made seven years ago. That's OG to me. Now, I've been doing this work 25 years, but Hue and Style itself, of not just clothing, but more than clothing, yeah, around that time. And so let's take the ladies back, because adaptable confidence implies that you've been able to do things more confidently throughout the years. So take us back before Hue and Style. What was going on in your life? First of all, that got you to me, but what was going on in your life that was heavy, exhausting, frustrating about getting yourself together?
So I was in a huge transition period. Of course, when you're in it, you don't necessarily recognize what's going on, but I was in a huge transition period. I was in between jobs and I didn't know what I was going to do. And I said, I'm a type A. I am a type A. I always have a plan. I didn't have a plan. So I peeled away all the layers of the onion, and the little middle bulb part was exposed. I was raw, I was vulnerable, and I was really scared because there's never been a time in my life where I didn't have a next step. I didn't have a plan. I put everything I ever did into my job. So that's who I was. And all of a sudden, I didn't have that comfort. So I was really scared. I was actually worried when I was out in public that people would come up to me and ask me, who was I? What do I do? And I didn't know how to respond. I was scared to death. So I was definitely on a trajectory that I did not realize at the time. I thought maybe I would just call it a day and take something that took me out of what I love to do, help people, serve the public, get to know people's stories, because I was scared to put myself out there again. And I didn't know how to do it.
Yeah.
And
scared to be seen. This is something that is highly, it is so natural of high achievers, because you want to be out there the exact right way. And if I don't know the exact right way, I'm just going to shrink. Was that it?
Oh, 100%. I felt about yay big.
Yes.
And everywhere I went, I was not taking care of myself. I didn't want to be seen. So whatever I could do to hide, to make myself smaller, to not show up anywhere, that was ideal, because I wouldn't have to deal with what I was thinking, how I was feeling, what my next steps were, until I got my grounding, and until Michele ended up in my life.
Well, well, and I mean, I like to paint the picture of what we call the hidden, because a lot of times there's going to be women sitting here on this call or on this broadcast or this podcast or whatever, listening and going, maybe that sounds like me, but they're not sure it sounds like them. So what did, and I always like to draw the parallel between your dressing and this stuck feeling. What were you doing in your closet, now that you know, for all these years later, that showed up like stuck? What was the dressing behavior that showed up like, I want to hide?
So it was jam-packed. I wish I would have brought you a picture. My closet was so stuffed. There was so many ideas, because now, of course, I realize that my closet is how my life is going, and that's the exact picture, right? So I knew my closet was jam-packed. It was full of everything, all different sizes, a lot of dark colors, just everything. And in fact, it was so bad that I actually had a part in my closet break because it was too full of clothes.
Is that yet not a metaphor again, Amanda?
Just a little bit. Just a little bit.
Well, and I know that women, when we're going through transition like that, so you were going through a career transition, immediately what happens after in a transition is that you want to fix something on yourself. Have you noticed this, ladies? You're going to fix it. And one of the easiest ways you think you can fix is, I'll just go buy a new shirt. I'll buy the color that I think, no, I don't have that. I'm just going to go buy something. Or you listen to the outside sources that tell you what's cool and in, and then you go buy that or whatever. Which one of those or all of them were you trapped in that made that closet break?
I would say all of them for sure. But I listened to all the talking heads. This is the latest. This is the greatest. You know, you have to have this. Look how good you'll feel. And it doesn't matter how much you do that. If you don't have the stuff that's inside fixed, the outside stuff isn't going to make it. It doesn't matter. The confidence isn't there. It isn't there.
I was like, and once again, for the folks in the back, right? It's like, you can literally just put on clothes and listen to the talking heads, or you can fix what's going on in the inside.
But you know what the hardest part is? You don't know what's wrong, because you're like, okay, I'm listening to everything that they're saying. It should work out perfectly. Look, I've got this new top and, you know, but I don't feel better. And it's not helping me in my day-to-day. And now I'm just spending all this money frivolously, and it's not doing it for me. What am I missing?
And what are they?
Cue Michele. Ding.
Ding. I was like gonna say, like, and then enter Hue and Style,
Uh-huh.
where we work inside and outside at the same time. This is not
Mhm.
about some sort of what's cool and interesting and what's going to be told. So tell me, what caught your attention first about Hue and Style?
I think the part that you're saying that it's got very little to do with the actual style and more to do with how you feel in the clothes, how you want to show up, what you're projecting, all of those things. Because that's a different message than you hear anywhere else. Everywhere else, it's like, you got to have the latest, the greatest. You've got to show up in this top. And they're just saying generalities, and that it doesn't work for everybody. You need a specific plan for yourself and what you are at, the period in your life you're at. We're all in different stages, but yet when we're in that transition period, you get that itch. There's something that's special there that's happening. It may not feel real special sometimes, but it is. Looking back, I knew it was a special time.
Yeah.
And then you've just got to find a way to scratch that itch.
Yeah. And you know what? You said a couple really important things there. The first is that the rest of the world is talking in generalities.
Mhm.
And this is what I mean about the generic fashion talk, right? That wear this blouse or wear this style, or a certain store will have this style, come get my style.
Yep.
But I remind people that someone's store even is a certain message. And is that yours? Right? And the only way to know that is to go inside. And so what is it about a mentorship situation rather than a tips and tricks situation that made the difference to you, beyond the tips, tricks, and TikToks at this point, right?
We had to go deep. We had to dig down and see what's actually going on, because what was on the surface wasn't it.
Right. Because the clothes
But
are on the surface.
you're trying to cover it up on the surface, and it's
Yeah.
not working.
Yeah.
And that's because there's something else happening. That transition, that itch, it's not surface.
Yes.
You've got
And
to
I
go
think
deep.
and I think what is important there is that women will go, yeah, but that's scary.
Mhm.
If I get past the clothes, it's scary to look at what's underneath.
Right.
But talk about, is that painful? Because a lot of times we'll be like, I don't want to go underneath because I think it's painful. But
Mhm.
is it? Because you said something about it being magical. Is it painful or magical?
It's all of those. But the end goal is what you're reaching, right? Like you've got to dig deep, and you've got to do some of the work. It's work. PS, like it is work.
Personal
I'm
growth.
just going to say it is work. But if you keep on track and you remember why you're doing this, and look at your wins. Like just go back and look at, when I look back 7 years ago, that girl it's the same girl, but it's not. It's totally different. My mindset was completely different than
Yes.
it is now.
Yes. And I think
And
people don't realize that these are skills, right? So
Mhm.
when we talk, and you'll hear Amanda say it, and my clients say tools, skills and tools, right? It's because there are things that you learn to do over and over and over again, which gets you the confidence, right? That finished part. So
Absolutely.
that's when you look at, it's like the Hue and Style, we call it personal branding tools and skills and presentation skills, but you end up seeing yourself differently in the mirror. What was the first change that you notice after learning your new skills? Can you remember back then?
I think one of the big ones was, I noticed that I started wanting to show up. So like, even like I was still doing my real estate training, but I would go grocery shopping or something, and I would be there and somebody'd say, "Oh, that's a really nice top on you." Or the cashier would say it at the checkout, and I say, "Oh, thank you." And then all of a sudden it starts happening more, and I'm like, maybe there's something to this.
There
What
is.
is going on?
There
Like,
yes.
and you just notice a little bit, and then you notice you put on, a certain top, or you plan for the next day, and all of a sudden now things feel like they're more in control, and you are making good decisions, and things, like I always say, if it's right, everything just fits together. Like that's just how it goes. And all of a sudden, instead of fighting everything started to jive. And I understood way more, which changes the game too, because when you start to understand yourself more, you give yourself more grace. You're not so hard on yourself. And so you start to understand that the things you're going through, they're meant for you, and there's things to learn from it, and there's ways to grow from it. And you've just got to give yourself the grace to go through it, because it isn't always easy, but the benefits drastically outweigh the hardships.
Well, and I think that goes back to that, that pain and not so painful. It's like, there's going to be work in your life to find new confidence. Like people, like I talk about, renew, energize, prepare. You cannot get to another level of confidence without the renewal. And the renewal involves you, if you're doing it properly, going inside, right? And then it allows you to energize. And then you got excited. It's like, I could go to the growth. I could see people. I would let people see me.
Yeah.
And then you prepare for what's next, because then you prepare to go up. Right. And now it's 7 years later, and you've built a business of real estate. And people are always so interested when I say Hue and Style women are competitionless. We are. There's no one else who can do what we do, like we do it, in the way we do it, even if we're in an industry of 1 million. Why do you see yourself and your journey in this Hue and Style journey as making you competitionless, Amanda?
Because there's only one me. There's only one me. I'm the only person that's going to show up like me. I'm the only person that's going to have the heart like I do. It's the only person that's going to want to serve like I do. You totally feel like you're completely on your own, and you're totally confident in everything that you do. And it's not that you don't have times where maybe you need to, have a little talk with yourself. That's totally normal. But you do it, and then you move on, and you just see yourself so differently than before. And you're just not on the level with other people. And it's not a rude thing. You just know that you feel differently about yourself.
Yeah.
And that you want the best for everybody. And you actually want to build a lot of people up, which is what I love to do, because I see people struggling, or I see people back where I was. And I think, oh, it could be so different for you. Just listen to me.
Yes. Well, and I think, people are like, wow, that's really cool that you know how to do that. How do you know that? Well, and I always like to shed a tiny beam of light on how we get there. A personal branding statement that is created at the very beginning of the Hue and Style process is the magic behind every way they show up. It is highly hyper in tuned and specific about who you are, why you cannot be copied, the way you cannot be copied, what you do to serve your people, what is your outcome, the way you do it, and then the purpose statement that helps them leave a legacy of being able to help people in the way they do. That's not about clothes. But then we take that statement and we transform it into color, clothes, values, style. Because what you may not know, folks, is that personal style isn't about what's trending. It's about the values it exudes from the psychology of it. That's the part that women are missing. And I always say that I teach you the art, the science, and the psychology and the symbolism of dressing that allows you to do that. So how did it help you find and keep loyal clients after this competitionlessness?
Because I show up now as someone that's very confident in what she does. I know what I'm there to do. I know how well I can do it. And I don't have to worry at all anymore about that feeling of, oh, somebody's going to do it better. Oh, if you're my clients and everything is right, everything falls into place. Because I make the intention in the morning. I have a routine. When I wake up, this is what I do. This is all set up to make my day flow a certain way, and it does. And I mean, what a blessing.
Right? Because, to scratch the type A and recovery bone, which, people help who they were, and that's who I was. And then I helped Amanda, who that was, undo it too. If you are a type A in recovery as well, having a hyper specific intention is the thing that actually releases you.
Yep.
It's the thing that gives you grace, like you said, and lets you be free in being yourself, right? So it's been 7 years. Oh my gosh. And I always say people that, Hue and Style is a lifelong thing. Like, you will do it forever. It's a forever situation. So you're 7 years into your forever.
I am, yep.
What do you find a snap to do now in terms of your self-presentation, your self-confidence, that you could do in your sleep that you couldn't do before?
Just prepare for my day. So I can the night before, I can get everything ready. I know exactly how my day is going to flow. I have a practice in the morning that I use to start my day, to build on the intentions I thought about and talked about the night before, even for my week. And I can plan everything out, and it makes it so easy. I'm not struggling anymore to do any of that, where before, I had that huge closet full of clothes. Like, literally, it was like you couldn't fit another tiny shirt in there. Like, it just wouldn't work. And yet I had nothing to wear. And I didn't like how I was showing up. Like,
right.
And now, I put this on today, and I'm going to start my day, and there's a message and a feeling behind this whole outfit. And that's why I'm doing this, because it's makes life so simple.
Yeah. Well, and I know that there are women listening to you right now, and they truly that believe, that clothing is about fashion or trends, or like, I want to look cute today, or I'll just find whatever it is that I like. There's a lot of that. I'm just going to wear what I like. And, we've all heard the cliches about, look good, feel good, or dress for success. And you're choosing based on guessing is what I share. You're choosing based on guessing what is right for them. Why was learning about yourself and a tailored way you put yourself together a better way to do it?
Takes the guessing out of it. There is no guessing. Like, mic drop, I'm done. So there's no guessing anymore. Yeah, sorry, Michelle. It's just that simple.
This big long answer.
Sorry. There isn't any guessing. It just makes it easy. It's done. And I know exactly, when I walk into my closet, I know exactly what I want. And I'm like, oh, there's my shirt. Thank you.
And I say 5 minutes or less. Am I right or wrong?
Oh, I would even say less.
Well, and the longer, because you're 7 years in too. So this is the beauty of Hue and Style, and why I say it's forever, is that the skills never go away, and you'll never unsee them. So at the beginning, when you're still working with stuff in your closet that was like pre-Hue and Style, you might take the 5 minutes. But Amanda's expert master 7 years in, and ding, ding, yep, done.
Done. Yep.
That's all.
Even, like, I'm just talking about my closet, but anything. When I go shopping, I am not Black Friday shopping. I don't care if it's clearance. I need specific things in my wardrobe, and that's it.
For you.
Yes, for me. Yes. And do you know how much I save?
Yes.
How much time, how much energy, how much money I'm not wasting. I have nothing with tags.
See, that's another symptom. Look all up in there. Doesn't have the text. And I know that Amanda rocks one of the biggest tools in here. We're called Hue and Style for a reason. Color. And not random color, people. Not what I think I should wear. We wear personalized color, 36 options on your palette, work all together. How powerful is that palette to know that every single color goes with every single color, and you will look powerful? How amazing.
Like, I was somewhere just recently, and this happens all the time, but I was somewhere just recently, and I am tooting my own horn, but I don't care. I will.
Of course.
I had on one of my favorite pieces, and it's everybody else's favorite piece too, because I mean, it was getting to the point where I was with a girlfriend. It was getting to the point where she's like, okay, enough. Like, why are all these people stopping you? I had a lady like almost hanging off my arm. Ma'am, that looks so nice on you. Where did you get that from? And I'm like,
well, and there's a couple things wrapped up in that. First of all, I love it. Number one, we talk about being able to take compliments as Hue and Style women, and it changes your life if you're able to actually take it, because you know what they're actually saying to you. So number one is being able to handle being seen. Number 2 is knowing what it takes to be seen and knowing what they're actually saying to you when they say, oh my gosh, I love that. That looks so good on you. And then the third thing, which is the thing that women don't realize, is that when they say, hey, that looks so good on you, where did you get it? They're asking like they want to go buy it too. Problem is, girls, that might not be for you. And you may not, it's not the clothes that's getting the reaction. It's the aligned Amanda that was.
Yep. They want the confidence.
They want the confidence.
Where can I buy your confidence?
Exactly.
What store sells your confidence?
And it doesn't.
I need it in this size.
I literally need to say this on the soapbox because now I feel like you and me talking.
Here
is that any brand of clothing, any store that says they will sell you confidence is a lie.
Yep. We're going to go down a rabbit hole here, Michelle. I can just feel it coming.
I just felt it. I just felt it. It's a lie because they can't sell you something that is internal. They can sell you a piece of garment or an accessory, and it is up to you to know how to place confidence symbolism on it. And if you don't have tools for that, they can't sell it to you, which is why Hue and Style women can shop anywhere. We can go to any mall. We can go to any place. So please, sorry, I felt it coming up, Amanda. Because I want the women to know, do not take that as law, that the clothing company will sell you confidence.
No, clothing companies are just there to sell you clothes. And the worst part is that they're the ones that are dictating what you wear. You're not dictating it.
Until you know what's right for you, and you can say, no, thank you, ma'am, I don't wear that. Or no, thank you, ma'am, that cut doesn't work for me. The only way to know and the only way to be confident, truly confident, is to know yourself on the inside first. That is it. Mic drop almost.
Yes, a lot of mic drops here. A lot of mic drops today. But the fashion one is a big one. Like the stores, they're just there to make you think you can have the confidence. Look how beautiful this model looks.
That's right.
And then you get it home and you've wasted a whole bunch of money. And, you know, at the end of the day, it's not.
And then it goes into that closet that was jam-packed that you can't unpack.
Yeah. That still has a tag on it.
Still has the tag on it. Well, and I know, you know, it's it's always funny because when we arrange these chats, I hear from each of you girls, you're like, it's so hard to explain like Hue and Style, like the things that go on and the magic and how it's not just the styling and the thing. And it's beyond creating vision boards and all these, you know, like it's wrapped into things. And I know that you took your Hue and Style image confidence, but you also took lifestyling, which is about confidence mindset. And it's about how you hang on to that confidence to be seen. How powerful was that to be able to know that you have tools to manage your emotions that would take you out of your confidence?
It's huge. I don't know how many times I went back and used them, more than I can count. But I think the biggest takeaway is that because I have those, I never again will have to worry about not being able to overcome a situation. Doesn't matter what name any situation. And there are some really bad ones, and I get it. Like we just went through the pandemic. Like, I mean, to a lot of people, that was a trauma.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, I feel like it was a trauma. And,
yeah. You know, life change. Yeah.
And we didn't know what was going on. Like there's just layers and layers and layers. And it's not like there's never going to be a problem again. Because guess what? Life, right? There's always issues. Like, you know, stuff comes up. The difference is now that I have the tools how to deal with it, I can stop it in its tracks and I can deal with it and it doesn't manifest. And I don't end up back where I don't know who I am, what I'm doing, where I should go. And then above and beyond that, we have a sisterhood with Hue and Style that is just a whole nother can of worms that like whenever I've ever needed anything, I can rely on any of those women.
Yeah.
For absolutely anything. And that's really powerful to have people that are in their same mindset, that understand what you're going through, that even though it may not be the same transitional period, we were all in that same, we all had that same itch.
Yes.
That we couldn't scratch. We had to figure it out, you know? And so once we figured it out, that was powerful to have that group behind you and all of us to really understand on a deeper level what's going on. And it even makes you appreciate the people around you more and realizing that everybody's having a hard time. It wasn't easy. It still isn't easy for a lot of people. We have a lot going on, but
Yes.
when you have the tools behind you and you can reference those tools and use that information anytime you need it,
Forever.
it's huge.
Forever. And yeah, and I just have to wheel back to the sisterhood because you mentioned
Mhm.
that, and there is a very particular kind of woman who comes to Hue and Style, and you hit it.
Mhm.
It's those women who are in transition but know that there's something more for themselves.
Yeah.
They're not content to stay stuck in the story going, well, I wish it was better. They're going, who do I need to be to step into my new?
Mhm.
And at every single woman I share this community and this solution with, I tell them, I said, I've been mentoring women for over 25 years. And if I know one thing for sure, women do not, listen to me now, women do not change permanently unless they are surrounded by women changing in the same way.
Mhm.
It does not stick. So if you're on the train and you get off a train and you're not with those women, it doesn't stick. You'll have it for
Mhm.
a while, and then what, right? And I know that you have made this Hue and Style life a superpower for yourself. I mean, daily image confidence, and I call it like that for a reason because it's how you show up. You've said it so many times.
Mhm.
What does it make you, what makes you feel happy to do now that you have this in your life 7 years on?
Well, I love trying to empower other women. That's a big one because I know how good it feels. I know how important it is. I know how much it's changed my life,
Mm.
and continues to change my life and gives me so much more time to enjoy things and not worry. Like even something as silly as I never used to wear a bathing suit. I was scared to death. I'm a plus size woman. Oh my God, people are going to see my thighs. They're going to see my belly, whatever. And I wouldn't even get into a bathing suit. So for 20 years, I missed out on swimming. I missed out on going to the beach. I missed out on having fun. For what? Like, for what reason? And so when I see other people with that, I just think it doesn't have to be that way. You
Oh,
don't have to use that little voice inside your head that's telling you, oh, you're not good enough. Oh, blah, blah, blah. You don't. Now, it may still come occasionally because it's strong.
yeah.
That little voice inside your head is a strong voice. But I have tools now that I can easily work with and remedy that stupid little voice in my head.
Yeah.
And now I don't care. I wear
Yeah.
bikinis.
Yes. Well,
Who cares?
and what there's so much beauty there. There's a beauty in the image portion in that when you come to realize that you will have a tailored solution, doesn't matter the size you are. We talk a lot about that, about tag size, because it has nothing to do with tag size. And then it also has nothing to do with like the Pinterest body shapes, because those Pinterest body shapes don't know all of your proportions. And so here's how we figure out your tailored proportions. And then you get my suit teach, and then you know exactly what suit for whatever tag size that is that will
Mhm,
make you look amazing. And that's when we get to turn that little voice down because you prove it wrong. And
mhm.
that's the confidence mindset portion, which starts with your clothing, but it's those tools of mindset that really keep that tape turned down.
Yep.
And so I love the fact, first of all, think of all the years that now you've been able to enjoy
Mhm.
life,
Everything.
experiences, your people around you,
Mhm.
families, because you've had the confidence that says, I'm going to show up in my own way, even in this
Absolutely.
suit.
Yep.
Yeah, we have a lot. We have women like plus size, menopausal women are doing it's some
Mhm.
that's happening right now with a lot of them. It's like my body has changed and I feel like it's against me. What do I do with that?
Yep.
Well, it's not your body.
Yep.
It's how you think about your relevance at the age you're in, and your body is a symbol of the time of this transition. What are you
Mhm.
doing with that?
Yep.
Sorry, that was another little preach. Okay, cool. So Amanda,
We have a lot of tangents, Michele.
right? We've covered many.
I
Plus,
think so.
but
I
so
think so.
for all these conversations, I always like to ask you when I invite you one word that I use for the title that becomes, just a embodiment of your journey. And you chose adaptable as adaptable confidence to tell about your Hue and Style experience. Why did you choose adaptable as how you experience Hue and Style?
Because I feel like I can deal with anything. I can adapt to any situation. And there'll be situations. So, if it's my job, if it's personally, there's a lot going on, but I feel like I have the confidence and I have the tools to be able to move through each situation. And at the end of the day, I know who I am because I figured that stuff out. So I don't get lost in the mix.
I love that. And why did you see mentorship as essential for getting there? Why couldn't you just do it on your own, DIY, get the Pinterest, whatever?
I didn't have the tools. My family doesn't have the tools. My friends don't have the tools. They want the best for me. They love me. They have, advice, but it wasn't what I needed. I needed that outside source. I needed someone to get to the core of what was happening. I needed someone that was willing to tell the hard truths. I needed someone that would keep me accountable.
That's a big one.
And I really needed someone that would help me find me again. Because I wasn't there.
No. And there is a loving truth telling in mentorship, because I'll tell you the truth, but it's in your best interest. And in the end, when there's that trust factor there, like that deep trust, which is mentorship, it's like, it's deep trust. You can hear it in me, through me, back to yourself. I'm one large mirror for all of you, right?
Yep.
And when I put up the mirror so that you see yourself, you see, and that, well, most times it just brings folks to tears, and that's okay too. Okay.
There's a lot of that.
Well,
prepare yourself. Get out with the Kleenex. Prepare yourself.
But and I always say, like, in tears, there's truth, because behind those tears is the truth that you really just want to be yourself.
Absolutely.
And be okay with showing up for that, right? And I mean, Amanda, you're a true Hue and Style woman, super fearless, magnetic, leader, ready to serve, walking commercial for who you are and what you do.
I am.
But many women watching this might have trouble with the fact that they can give themselves value and permission to invest in their own personal growth process and not just a styling hack. What advice do you give the women, especially the ones who are in high competitive, sales-driven industries, maybe male-dominated, those service industries where they're a business owner, whether it's a solo entrepreneur or they're running their own ship, but they want a certain client, like that high net worth, trusting, disciplined client, or maybe they're switching careers like you did. What do you need her to know about that inner confidence being able to match with that outer presentation?
I need her to know it's possible. And why don't you want more control of your own destiny? That sounds a little much, but like to have your own control of what's going on.
Yeah.
If that's what you want, how are you going to go and get it?
Yeah. Well, and destiny just implies future, your own path. It implies that you're right, that you take control of where I'm going instead of willy-nilly. And we've all had a lot of willy-nilly in the last few years, right? So being able to just say, no, here's who I am. This is how I'm using my life. And I think with all the things that have happened, so much urgency has come up, meaning, and I say there ain't no time to waste here. Okay. We all saw what it looked like if we had wasted time up until
Yep.
and how quickly things can go away. So are you out here ready to do life,
Yep.
right? In your own way.
And what are you waiting for? Because we're just saying, like, just FYI, tomorrow's not guaranteed. So let's get on it. Like,
yeah.
And the best part is, like, yes, it's going to help your career and your business and all of that, but it's just going to set the groundwork for everything. Absolutely everything. Like, literally, I had to pick a paint color. Guess what? I went in my palette.
Well, we're basically designers over here in Hue and Style too, because they're like, oh, I need to paint my house. Oh, what am I feeling off my palette? What do I want this room to say?
Yep.
What 3 levels of color psychology do I want to work with? Guys, yeah.
I want to do marketing. It's easy. It's so easy.
Yeah.
Who is my ideal client? Oh, hello, done.
You're right.
Done.
And I think too, like, there's so much out there about like brands and build a brand and and you hear all the buzzwords, but what it really means, guys, especially if you're a woman who's doing your work and you're leading a team, maybe you're a business owner, your brand is the promise that you keep to people. It's not a color. It's the promise that you keep to people. And as a leader, a business owner, an entrepreneur, a professional, you can't know that promise until you craft it yourself. No brand designer can tell that to you.
Nope.
So sorry, brand designers, you'll be like, they can't tell.
And you'll be paying a lot of money for it too.
Well, you'll pay them and they'll tell you something, but whether it's aligned is a whole nother question, right? You are the one that destiny, like if we're going to go there, what do you want to say? How are you going to use your life? What is your life going to stand for? And we don't have any time to waste anymore.
Nope.
Okay, Amanda, give the women one last good piece of advice, whether it's about image, confidence, both, lifelong journey, any of it.
Just know that if you're feeling that itch, if you're in a transitional period, if things feel like they're out of control, you're not even sure when you wake up in the morning, like you're doing for everyone else but yourself, and you look in the mirror and you're like, I have no idea. I don't have time for this. I'm not worth it. Let's just back up the truck just slightly there, because not only are you worth it, but you shouldn't even waste the time, because we don't have time. Why aren't you allowed to live your very best life? Why aren't you? You're absolutely worth it. And so to me, it's almost a silly thing not to go and do something for yourself and make your life better and make your life easier. Make everything easier. It just gets easier. You got to do the hard stuff. It's work. If it was easy, everyone would do it. We'd all be full of confidence and the whole nine. But it's not. So I feel for the ladies that are there. I do, because I remember that 7 years ago, and that was scary. And it wasn't a fun time. But once I had my feet under me and I started to understand what I needed to do, and I started aligning my life with what my purpose was, what I wanted to do, what I'm here, it was so freeing. I've never had such a better feeling than I do now, the way I can carry myself into a room.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
It's so awesome. And the thing is I had this experience, this little side note. I had this experience with the gals who just finished the last cohort. And one of them had framed her purpose statement, we know what we call it, statement. And she showed it to me and I just broke down. I was like, we have a lot of tears over here. Okay. And it was because, and I explained to them that it's because when you see your life's purpose living outside yourself, like it's in our hearts, right? So I feel like I have many hearts walking around. Amanda's one of them. And it's almost like when you see your heart walking around outside yourself, you know that you are entirely fulfilled. How many of you get to do that?
Mm-hmm.
Amanda gets to do it with her clients. I see Teresa and 𝗱𝗃, they get to do it with their clients.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's the beauty of a purpose-driven life, that you show up for confident every single day. And when you have that ability to look out and see them, it is a paycheck that has so many zeros.
Yep.
It makes your life go, that's why I'm here. And if I left tomorrow, I'm good. That's what I told him. If I left tomorrow, I'm good.
Fills my cup.
Fills my cup. And then you want to do more.
the
And
top.
I love it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Amanda, so many gems. So many dropped the mic.
A lot.
Thank you for your heart, your truth. You have helped another woman discover herself, whether you know it or not. I know it, but whether you
That's
know
what I love. That's what I wanted.
You
Absolutely.
have. Somebody listening felt you.
Good.
And she will make a change because of you.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you for doing that as a service. It's a service, paying it forward. Mm-hmm. And everyone, if Amanda's story or part of her story stirred you, if it moved you, discover your first steps at hueandstyle.com. There's everything there you need to know about, like at least some of how I do what we do, but there's enough to start. There's enough to start to go sprinkling that if you fall, and I say fall down the rabbit hole of hueandstyle.com, you will know if this kind of transformation is for you, if image confidence makes sense for you, if it'll help you work with your mindset, your image, your business, how you're creating confidence in your life. You can also tune into my podcast, Confidence Shift, where you can listen to more of these interviews, as well as bite-sized and completely bingeable episodes. Like, people are like, I went through all bingeable on how you can start changing the image and every way you show up. I want you to think about it differently, okay? I work with women locally, internationally, who are tired of trying to figure it out themselves, and that might be you. So discover more, learn more, hueandstyle.com. It's all there for you. But for now, I want to say thank you to Amanda for coming.
Thank you.
Your sisters came out in such good form to say we support you. And
thank you.
You're welcome. And I love that you've helped someone else in this moment. Because
can I just say one little thing, Michele?
Absolutely.
Just, do you recall when I first started stalking you?
Yes.
And I know there's women out there, because I've heard this story before. And just so you know, I see you. I understand it, because I am a recovering Michele Gustafson stalker. So I watched all of the Michele I could get before I did anything with Michele, to the point where one day she actually said my name on a broadcast, and I literally hid under my desk, because I know she couldn't see me, but I felt like she could see me, and I wasn't ready to be seen quite yet. And so anyway, I get you.
Oh, I love how you said that.
And then reach out.
Yes.
Don't wait.
And
you can stalk her for a while, but then reach out.
Well, and the thing is it is my joy to see you. And I can't count the number of times clients have said that I feel so seen by you. Well, it's my job to see you so that you get comfortable being seen. So then you get seen, remembered, chosen. And there's your destiny. That's how it works. So
destiny.
I love it. Thank you so much for joining, everyone. I want you to have a wonderful rest of the day. Take care, and maybe we'll see you around the Hue and Style block. Okay? Everyone take care for now. Bye.